Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another indie show review. I'm your host for these, Dan, DP and I am by myself because Ray is not here and Froz is on assignment. Also, it's a bit too early in the stages to ask anyone from the company, so I'm on that sort of bit where it's like I don't generally ask anyone from the company until I've done a few shows of theirs, and this is the first show of theirs that we're doing. So, this is... where's it gone? I had it. There it is. This is Bree Wrestling, which is a brand new company. They started up a couple of months ago, and they had their first actual show last weekend on Sunday, the 5th of May, the day after Star Wars Day, of course. So they ran out of the Butter Market, which is a venue in Shrewsbury. This is my first time going there. First time going to Shrewsbury in general, actually. Nice little area, nice little town. The Butter Market is, I believe, a nightclub, so it has that sort of feel to it. Good little venue, decent size. I think, again, similar to DKW that I mentioned before in the stream, that they hold about 100 people in the venue. But ultimately, a nice little condensed environment where the crowds can be louder and it sounds louder. But we will get into some crowd reactions a little bit later on. But yeah, let's get things off with the show. So this is Bree Wrestling, the first breath, 5th of May. Let's talk about it. So the show was due to start around 2 PM. I got there about 1:15, I think. Not 1:15, no, I don't know, sorry. Like 12:30, sorry. And there's already a queue of people. So I don't know what the difference is, because there was a queue there. Other show I went to that I mentioned earlier, there wasn't a queue there, so I don't know. Anyway, there was a queue. Doors opened just after 1 o'clock, which is pretty good. I'm not used to that. I'm used to like Progress and Rev Pro running over and then not opening the doors. But again, pretty good stuff so far, and a good way to introduce, a good way to welcome fans in, to doing it on time. So there's a host, his name is Jamie, I think it was Jamie something, who mentions that everyone in the card tonight will be in the Championship Grand Prix, which is going to be 6 matches, on this show 6 matches, and everyone in the matches are part of the Grand Prix. To stay in the Grand Prix, all you got to do is win. If you lose, you're out of the Grand Prix. So we introduced, of course, the ring announcer, which I believe who was called Matt Hoss. I could be wrong. Again, please confirm that for me if you're watching. And referee Liam Porter. Again, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. And we kick off the show with a triple threat match. Jay Joshua, Elijah, and Kieran Young. I'm familiar with Elijah. I'm familiar with Jay Joshua. Kieran Young, I know Ray did an interview with him. And that's about it. It was meant to be a tag match, so CJ Rollins was meant to team with Kieran Young against Elijah and Jay Joshua. However, that didn't happen, so now it's a free-way to open up. So we get a roll-up series to start things off, and Jay has early control with a senton to Elijah and a chop to Kieran. Kieran antagonizes the others, saying that this isn't real wrestling, and who will win? Kieran Young will. That's who. Which leads to a coalition between Jay and Elijah to take out Kieran. Kieran manages to take Elijah out and take control of the match, despite the 2-1 disadvantage that he has. It was then Elijah's turn to come back into it and take control, as he clears Kieran out with a sling blade. Elijah then has control of the match until a very good sequence with Jay Joshua results in both men being exhausted. And then Kieran tries to pin, but there's no avail. So he does the whole pin one guy, 1, 2, kick out. Pin the other guy, 1, 2, kick out. Jay attempts a neutralizer on Elijah, but a counter leads to Elijah hitting a sit-out spinebuster for a 3. Not just a miscount though, because the referee does hit them out a 3rd time, but Elijah kicks out beforehand. Not Elijah. Jay hits it, kicks out before the 3. So miscount. Ultimately though, Kieran attempts to dive through spear, but it's caught by Jay, who hits a brutal pile driver on Kieran for the 3 count. I rate this 3.5 stars. Great opener. Apologies to my nose again. But yeah, great opener. Great way to open the show. I'm a fan of these guys. Kieran Young is great. I didn't realize how good he was. Very much a shit heel in regards to the way he talks and the way he antagonizes fans, antagonizes other wrestlers. He's very annoying and he's good at that role. Moving on. So, just to clarify, sorry, Kieran Young and Elijah are out of the Grand Prix. Moving on, we have a singles match. Ashley Dunn against Kid Lycos 2. This is my first time seeing Ashley Dunn in action. Same with Kieran Young before. So the match starts with various lockups. Ashley taunts with asking the ref if Lycos thinks that what he's doing is a good headlock when he does a headlock. When applying said headlock. Ashley uses chops and kicks, meanwhile Lycos relies more on running offense. Ashley does a handspring elbow and a screwdriver knee drop for 2. A series of roll-ups among high-octane chaos made for entertaining viewing between the two of them. Lycos attempts a brainbuster, which, you know, typical Lycos fashion, says you're meant to say, "Shut up, Lycos." No one did. It was just me. So yeah, Lycos goes, "Brain buster," and I'm the only prick there who says, "Shut up, Lycos," and then that makes me look horrible. It makes me like he's like this guy who's light, and I'm saying, "Shut up, Lycos," and I'm the only one saying it. Anyway, but it leads to Ashley reversing and hitting a Tiger-style Canadian destroyer. It was really cool. For the 3 count, again, 3.5 stars. 2 amazing young athletes here. Like I was 2 I'm more familiar with from Progress and stuff. Amazing guy, but usually he's in 10 matches, so you don't see much of him in a singles capacity. This was great. This was a really fun match. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to the third match of the night, which was also the halfway point of the show. Which, well, there was no interval, so there wasn't a halfway point. So just the third match of the night. A match that was touted on here as Brother Be Brother. We had Joey Sanchez, who's from Shrewsbury, against Rapid Fire Tommy Gunn, who's also from Shrewsbury. Tommy Gunn comes out, he's got a water pistol that he fires randomly. He fires it once forwards towards the ring and the crowd who was front. And then he shoots it to his left. Water goes directly in my eye. No lie. I'm sitting on the left hand side and water goes directly into the air, falling right into my left eye. But yeah, Joey is the massive fan favourite here. The fans seem to know who both these guys were. Truthfully, I didn't really have any idea who they were. Tommy utilises the ref's rules to avoid combat. Joey almost wins quick though with a jumping corkscrew net breaker. They're evenly matched as they exchange and counter each other's moves to the point of hitting a double clothesline, take each other out. A high knee catches Joey off guard and sends him to the corner, but a series of moves, including a catch cutter, ripcord lariat, and super kick, take Tommy down, but only for a 2 count. Tommy does the body sleeper, but Joey gets out of it thanks to the crowd. The old style, like lift jab. Ooh, oh no, I'm going to fight back now. Ultimately, they recreate the end sequence from Brett and Bulldog in '92 with the roll-up victory for Joey. I rated 2 3/4 stars. I feel like this was a match for the crowd. It wasn't a match for me. I didn't understand the history of these two. I didn't. Honestly, I don't know who Joey Sanchez is. I'm being truthful there. Like, I'm happy to learn, and I feel like I have learned here. I don't know who he is. Same with Tommy Gunn. Again, I'm more than willing to learn, and I'm happy to have seen the match. And it was a good match. I rated it 3 stars, but again, I just didn't know both guys. It felt a little wasted on me. But again, that's just my thoughts. Good match overall. Just, Tommy hit me in the eye with a gun. Well, water. From the gun. But, moving on. It's announced that there are going to be new people at Bree. So we kick things off with Luke Basham. Again, I'm not familiar with it. I've heard his name before in rates reviews of Midland shows. So I'm assuming he's more based around that area. But he signed with Bree Wrestling. I think he's Welsh. maybe. But he says he's happy to be here. He keeps throwing shade at Shrewsbury by comparing it to Telford, which is a neighbouring area, but in the same region. I believe Telford is part of Wales.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
Whereas Shrewsbury isn't, I think. Anyway, he mentions that he'll bring the APW title with him at the next show for Bree, which is revealed to be June 9th, which is called Our Time. Same venue. We'll move on though. Lou Basham was quite a good little character. Like we'll talk more about him at the next time, I imagine. But like here, good little shit heel. I like it. Anyway, move on to the next match. A tag match between Woody Anderson and K Temple, the team of TID, against Murder Inc. I didn't catch either of their names. One's called Joe something, I think, and then one's called like CJ. I think it was CJ Connors, and then Joe something. And the manager is Templeton Cruz, which is an amazing name. They're sort of like an organised crime unit, like the Krays, like the Kray twins or Al Capone or whoever. But Murder Inc. attack before the bell and maintain complete control over K Temple. It is a systematic destruction of K Temple, and he slips and slides to try and avoid the oncoming threat. But eventually, Woody can tag in, and when he's in, he clears house, body slamming one onto the other. Murder Inc. take back control momentarily with a rolling Death Valley driver is landed on Kenny, but Tid come back with diving Canadian Destroyer. Templeton gets involved, which is enough for Murder Inc. to take back control and taking out Woody, and then they put Kenny away with the curb stomp and the wheelbarrow suplex combination, which looked pretty good. I rated this 3.25 stars. Templeton Cruz is a great manager on the side. CJ Connors and Joe something seem to be over, so I'm guessing they're locals, or at least they're known among the local scene. But yeah, Murder Inc. They're a pretty good team. As for Tid, they're out of the Grand Prix now, so back of the line. I should clarify as well, actually, sorry. Tommy Gunn is out of the Grand Prix, as is Ashley Dunn. No, sorry. Lacos 2 is out, not Ashley Dunn. After the match, Templeton Cruz speaks to the crowd and berates the crowd and just general fun. Moving on to the penultimate match, we have Miles Kamen, the Golden Boy, against TJ Sky, who, for those who aren't aware, was my quiz partner on HCW Wrestle Connect, which we did a couple of months back. I believe we won. So, me and TJ, we got that connection. On the channel, he's known as Redacted, but I can say his name because me and him are cool. TJ Sky, you're cool. Anyway, the match itself, Miles starts off by doing the runaround tactic and does nothing with it. Like, normally you run around and you cut into the ring and you attack your opponent. He runs around and then they just stand off again. Weird. Anyway, but the match starts with a collar and elbow. Miles loves to comment on anything and everything. He talks so much. Miles argues with the fans about if he can wrestle or not. They're saying, you can't wrestle. He's going, I can wrestle. It's really back and forth here, though, in that no one really has an advantage. They go to the outside. TJ uses a Pringles can for one of the fans. DQ again. There's a cutter out of nowhere and a sit-out dominator for Miles, which only gets a 2 count. And then ultimately a low blow and hooked arm sit-out facebuster get the 3 for Miles. I rate this 3 stars. Miles is a good heel. He sort of reminds me, to put it a bit more mainstream, of like an EC3 type character. In regards to he loves himself and it's fair dues. He's a good wrestler and a good heel. He's just someone who is someone you want to see him lose, but you know he probably won't. You know, it's that sort of character. He's not here but it's revealed that Robbie X will be in action at the next show. So that's pretty cool. And then we go on to the main event, which was the match that was announced first for Bree Wrestling, which was between Charles Crowley and Nico Angelo. There are shenanigans to begin with Crowley's coat. For the most part, though, Nico has control of the match until a powerbomb is countered and Crowley takes control for the match himself. They go onto the stage where Crowley attempts a powerbomb, but a counter sends Charles back first into the staging. Nico has control again, landing a beautiful diving cutter, but only for 2. Then he gets a stunning shooting star splash for 2. And then Crowley takes control again for a bit later on. Nico attempts a powerbomb, Crowley counters, but Nico counters the counter and hits a twisting sit-out bomb for the 3. Great ending. 3 3/4 stars is what I rated it. After the match, there's a big schmoz, which sees Motor Inc. involved, as Jay Joshua, Ashton, Joey Sanchez, big, like multi-man sort of thing here, which I believe will lead to some sort of match at our time. It's confirmed that we're going to get a rematch as well between TJ Sky and Miles Kamen, because I didn't mention it, but TJ Sky came out afterwards with Miles Kamen and attacked him more, and then there's a whole referee and security breakup sort of thing. But after that, that's confirmed. That's happening again at the next show on June 9th for our time. But yeah, other than that, my overall thoughts on the show, I had a fun time. It's bizarre seeing some of the wrestlers that I know quite frequently from the London scene not getting those ones that I'm used to seeing. Like Lycos 2, no one saying it. And if I'm being honest, I feel like the main event was the wrong main event. Crowley and Nico didn't get much reaction. It was almost as if most of the crowd didn't know who they were. I could be wrong on that assessment. It was just the crowd wasn't that loud initially for them. Whereas with Joey Sanchez and Tommy Gunn, there was instant cheers and boos. I feel like Joey and Tommy should have been the main event personally, if I'm the one booking it. But I get why Nico and Charles were the ones put there. Overall though, good card, executed well, and it's a good start in building block for the next show. Overall though, good stuff. Like right now, they're in a good place. They can build upon themselves. The Grand Prix is going to move on. I think there's 7 or 8 people left in it who are still active, who are still on winning ways for now. Which is by which I mean 1 win. I can see TJ taking miles out of this because he'll win the next showdown, and then that will lead to a 3rd match at the next show. But other than that, I would say look forward to it and just keep your eyes peeled on their social medias. I don't know if there's any plans to release them for the shows or anything, like a Patreon or YouTube or IWTV or something. I have no idea, but I know they're filming it, so for some reason. But yeah, that brings the end to this show review. I put links in Bree Wrestling underneath the video here. And please, if you feel so inclined, give me a follow on my Twitter just here. And for the show outlets, we have our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitch, which we're live on right now, and our Twitter or X. In regards to the video itself, thank you for watching, and please give us a follow, please give us a subscription on YouTube, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. And who knows, we might get some more guests on, some guest reviewers, guest previewers, whatever is the consensus is what we'll try and meet. It's always good to get you guys' opinions, and it's always good to have that interaction with the people who watch the videos. But saying that, I've been Dan, DP DeBreezy, and that is me signing off. Have a good one. Peace.